And as you lay into your back on this slim bolster of support and your bones settle a little bit like wood or seeds into the earth pressing down there, notice how the earth is just lifting beneath you. The earth is always under you like a magic carpet. The heavier you lean into it, the more it is there. Mary Oliver wrote, "The god of dirt came up to me many times and said so many wise and delectable things. I lay on the grass listening to his dog voice, crow voice, frog voice. Now, he said, and now. And never once mentioned forever, which has always been like a sharp iron hoof at the center of my mind. One or two things are all you need to travel over the blue pond, over the deep roughage of trees, and through the stiff flowers of lightning. Some memory of pleasure, some knowledge of pain. But to lift the roof, for that you need an idea. For years, I struggled just to love my life, and then the butterfly rose weightless in the wind. Don't love your life too much, it said, and vanished into the world. What is this teaching? What is this teaching of love, like summer with all its fullness and resplendence, but a reminder that we can love again and again through change, that we can love what changes and not what always stays firm and strong, but as our body shifts too, we can love the subtler awarenesses that grow and grow as we live. Feel into the beautiful subtlety of your breath and just allow yourself to count the length of the inhale. And the savory breath that fills you, pausing at the fullest point and very slowly releasing it through your nose. Slow down the inhale. Pause, savor, and make the exhalation even longer. As you continue to breathe, getting slower with that inhale, and even more slowly with that exhale. We begin to leave the body behind. Yes, we're working on the body and through the body, but what we're really getting to through this vehicle is this capacity to lift the roof, to see from high above, to become a witness to this body and this landscape of experiences, to become something more. Gently lift your knees. Feel into the floor beneath your feet as the knees rest into each other. Flex up onto the balls of your feet. And as you inhale, sweep the knees down to the right. As you exhale, flexing onto the heels and the balls of your feet, draw the knees back up to center. Inhale, stretching them down to the left. And as you exhale, draw them back up. Inhaling right, flexing and rocking up, articulating your feet. And inhaling left. And take a couple more this way. And as that water of the breath flows over this landscape, allow more, let more go, more into the weight of the hips, more deeply into the stretch of the skin. With your knees down to the left, stretch into your right hand, flexing it, and draw it all the way overhead till you're rolling on your left shoulder and reaching past your left hand loosely on your left side, stretching and sinking. With your inhale, arc that right arm overhead, letting your head roll to the right, stretching out across the front of your shoulders. And on an exhalation, flex your knees back up to the sky, lifting your gaze up to the ceiling. And as you inhale, rock your knees down to the right. Exhale your head to the left. Feel into your back body connected to the floor and stretch into your left fingers, flexing through that palm and drawing that arm overhead, rolling down to your right shoulder and dragging that left arm in a slow arc till it's on top of your right, reaching past the end of your right fingertips, folding into that right shoulder. Squeezing it out like a sponge. As you inhale, slowly stretch that left arm back overhead, the knees stay to the right, and the gaze rolls to the left, breathing into the front of that left shoulder. Flexing into your feet. Inhale your knees up to the sky. Draw your elbows close, press into them. Make your way up onto your elbows. The feet about hip width apart. Just going to sweep them left and right in time with your breath for 5 breaths. Drawing the belly back as you lift the knees up, inhaling them to the right. Exhale to center. Lift up through the heart so you're not sagging down in the chest, kind of puffing the chest and opening the rib cage. And then pull the belly down to engage your core. So you're pulling the belly back toward the floor. Reach for the back of your left knee and then your right knee, making your way up. And then reach the left elbow down and the right elbow down, connecting into the mat. We're going to go up, up, and down, down, pulling the belly back for just a couple more rounds, using the backs of your legs to help you find that core. And then holding the front of the knees. Inhale to draw the heart forward, gazing left and right to stretch across the chest. And exhale to pull the belly back, feeling that core engagement. Hook your thumbs. And as you inhale, reach forward, exhale, rock back. The sensation in your tummy is a little bit like someone pushed in your gut, punched you in the gut. You're pulling back, zipping in. And we're going to just take 10 more little pulses. When you touch down to your belly, which you should do for just a moment, so I want you to feel the hardness there as you take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now draw the hands together, interlacing your thumbs, reach to the right and pull back for 8. So you're just going to get into those obliques, firming up that tummy for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then switch which thumb is on top, reach to the left, and right away, come more into 10 little pulses, engaging the opposite obliques. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands on the front of the knees again. Inhale. Roll the shoulders back. Feel the elbows in. And look left and right, stretching across your tummy. Take the legs forward a little bit more. Still sitting on the edge of this support for our sit bones. And we're going to go back down onto the elbows and reaching forward, find the tips of the shoulders on the mat. Pull the belly back. So lifting your tail just slightly, not to hover it, but to just make sure that the mid to low back is really connected to the floor. Reach forward. And then take the arms overhead, not resting them on the floor as you rest your head, but your upper arm bones are hovering. If you lower your arm bones, you notice how your rib cage juts up, but lift the arms enough so that the rib cage pulls down to the floor. Arc the arms overhead, lifting it, and reach for the backs of your thighs, pulling yourself up. Exhale, coming back down, take the arms overhead, inhale. And then exhale, pull your belly back, reach for the backs of your thighs and come up. You're gonna do this arduous work just a couple more times. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, pulling yourself up. Now take your legs out. And as you exhale, roll down slowly, pulling your belly back, taking your arms overhead but not resting them. And then inhale, slowly come all the way up. If it's really difficult, lift your knees up. Just really going for some very deep core engagement. We're going to do this twice more. Exhale and rise up. Inhale and go back. Lift your knees if you need to. Exhale, you can reach for them and rise all the way up. Now we're awake in the core. We're going to take the feet to the left so we can sit on that little bolster and draw the sole of the right foot to the front of the left knee, a little bit pretzel-y there. Take the right arm out and come down onto your elbow, side stretch. Relax the belly. Feel across the top side of the left hip and ribs. Relax the head down and stretch into your skin on that left side, just opening it up for one more breath. Grounding into that right elbow, pressing there. Come up onto the right hand, rising up onto the right hip, and then take a little side bend to the left. You can hold the left ankle. Looking up. Opening and stretching your skin from the right elbow to the hip. And once more coming back down onto the right elbow, left arm overhead. Can you go deeper than the skin as you take 2 more breaths here and just try to relax the muscles underneath? And then pressing into that right palm. Rise all the way up, left hand to the ankle, right arm overhead. We're just going to hold the back of the head and allow the weight of the head to sink into your palm. And draw your chin in toward your chest and stretch the back of your neck. Let your head be heavy for 1 more breath. So you're pulling slightly on the back of your head. And leaving your head just like that, bring your fingers right between your eyebrows, your right hand. And without using any of your neck muscles, just your hand, push your head all the way back up. And then we're just going to switch sides. So you can use that bolster under the left hip. Legs are swished out to the right with the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right knee. Send your left elbow down to the floor as you bend to the left. Looking up and lifting the chest, drawing that right elbow back and leaving it high. Roll the gaze toward the floor. Relax the neck. You feel the skin stretching, maybe a little taut there, and just breathing in to soften that skin for another breath. And grounding into that left elbow, left fingertips, coming on up and reaching for that right ankle. Take the left arm overhead. And as you look up and lift that right elbow, open the rib cage a bit. With the exhalation, we'll come back down onto the left elbow. Taking the right arm overhead. And exhaling down into the left elbow. Push into the left hand, rising up, reaching to the right. And this time resting the back of your head and stretching into that left tricep a bit. With your exhalation, slowly draw the chin down toward your chest. Pull into the neck a bit. Soften at the roots. And draw your fingertips between your eyebrows. Pushing your head all the way back up. Turning toward your bolster. I'm going to take it crosswise so we have a little padding underneath the hips. This could also be a couple folded mats. We're going to come all the way down onto the belly. Extend the arms overhead, resting into your forehead. And imagine there's a tiny pea under your belly, which you don't want to mush into the floor. So pull the belly up and in, carving your tail down just a little bit more. And with your inhalation, lift just your right leg above the mat. So you feel your buttocks engaged to hold that leg up. And as you exhale, lower it down. Inhale that left leg above the mat. And exhale, lower it down. Inhale right, maybe you take it a little bit higher and then lower it, exhaling. And then the left and lowering it. And now both together. Both legs come up and hover above the mat, flexing and lowering. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Pressing into the floor. Inhale and look up, just a little baby cobra. And as you exhale, come down to your forehead and float both legs up. Inhale, legs go down, press into your palms. Swan, looking up from the water. Exhale, head down, legs come up, engaging your seat. 5 more times, just rocking on the hips, finding that low back engagement, that gluteal engagement. And you can begin to come up higher in your forearms, your hands. Just rocking with your breath. Really squeezing into your seat as you take 2 more. Draw the belly in, press into your palms, bringing your forehead down onto that bolster, and take child's pose, wide-legged, resting here for 3 breaths. Feel your knees sinking as if into mud, your hips settling, lengthening from the root of your spine to the forehead. Exhaling into the knees, draw your chin in and rise up. Take that bolster long again, resting into it. This time, the forearm perpendicular to your body with your knees stacked. Hover your heels. So heels are together, toes are apart as you lift your right leg up in a little clamshell opening position. Hovering on that left hip, exhale and draw the knees together. Inhale, flexing the feet apart, hovering the knees open, and exhale, closing them. Try not to sag down into that left shoulder, keeping the heart high. And the whole time as you move very slowly, you're staying on that outer left hip and the feet are hovering. And slowing down to really squeeze into your buttocks. We'll take 5 more little pulses here. And 4, exhaling together. 3, 2, and 1. Holding the knees open, extend the right leg, point. Exhale, heels together and close. Lift, extend, bend, and close. Lift, extend, bend, and close. And let's do 5 more together. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the heels together, keep the upper knee high, and now imagining you have a tension band that's stretching to the outsides of your knees. You're just going to try to prise that clamshell open 2 inches and gather your buttocks together. 10 little pulses, 9, 8, 7, 6. Just a little flutter in the knees for 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Good work. Maybe it feels good to bring the heel of your hand into the part of your buttock that you were squeezing a lot. We'll take the knees forward and rock to the other side. With that cushioning under the elbow, the knees together. Lift the heels. toes apart. So just take a little time to notice how you are on this right side. We don't want to slump down into the shoulder, but lift up and hold a long straight spine, hovering those heels. And then we'll exhale and inhale, squeeze into your buttocks. So 10 little pulses like that, or big ones, I should say. Just noticing that subtle, wonderful engagement in your seat, which is strengthening your low back core. For 3, 2, and 1. Knees open, we'll extend, bend, and close. Keep that lower heel and shin high to keep the work. And 5. Continuing with your big and full breath, just focusing on your breath as your body has memorized this action for 3, 2, and 1. Knees stay wide, 10 little pulses, like you're stretching a tension band apart. 8, 6. Squeeze into your seat. 4, 2, and last one. Relaxing it down. And a little bit of a relief for your buttocks. And you turn toward the mat, bringing the knees past the end of the mat and come back into child's pose, resting your forehead down. Relaxing your hands into the floor as you reach forward. Press into the knees and slowly rise up into a cat shape. You're framing that bolster, pulling your belly in as you come all the way down. Hands just outside the shoulders, but below them. Tuck your tail, lift your knees, and inhale. Take a little cobra, looking up, left and right, drawing your shoulders down the back. As you exhale, pull your belly back and come back into a child's pose. Grounding into the knees, keeping your forehead low. Pull your belly in and rise all the way up. We're going to draw the knees forward until we're up on that bolster and tucking the toes under. Standing there for a moment. Spreading the toes out, knees hip width apart. And then coming down to sit on the heels and stretch into the backs of the feet for a moment. Just push in, connect the muscle to the bone, and then right in the arch there, and then reach down to fan the toes out wider. Let's do that on both sides, creating a lot of space in the toes, opening up the soles of the feet. And let's actually rotate this bolster so that it's crosswise to the mat. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. And exhale, pull the belly in, draw the hands down to the heart. One more time, opening the arms, stretching into the feet, stretching into the belly. Draw the hands back down to the heart. We'll come up onto the knees. We're going to lift the feet up and just practice falling gently down to the left. Soft arms, pushing up, springy. Center. And right. And as we move back from center to the left, I just want you to notice how you're using your core and your leg flexion to just slow yourself down And land mindfully. So you're not smashing into your face, and you're using your hands thoughtfully. We're just going to go through the center and back to the right. Good. Now let's bring that awareness down into the palms, feet up, elbows in, and we're just going to do some little push-ups. Elbows in, go slowly down, and push up. And we're just going to do 3 more, feeling your elbows super glued to your rib cage. We're not coming all the way down to the floor, but just building those springs in the arms. 1 more. And push back. Arms forward, child's pose. And grounding into the knees, keeping the forehead heavy. Pull the belly in. Begin to rise up into your cat shape. Widen into your palms. Exhale, cow. Tuck your toes under and hover your knees for 2 breaths. As you hover your knees, you could think about flattening out the spine so that it's nice and neutral like a table. Your belly pulls in, carving the ribs inward. Tail tucks slightly. And feeling that engagement in your belly, push the floor away. Come up toward downward dog. And here we're just going to begin to walk the heels back and down, stretching into the calves. Feeling the toes up. For 2 more breaths. Ripple forward slowly to high board, and walking your hands forward just enough so that they feel like they're comfortably underneath your shoulders. Squeeze into your hips. And we'll just hold for the count of 4, 3, heart softening as the hips stay high. 2, and 1. Release the knees down slowly. Come all the way onto your forearms, grounding them down into the mat, tucking into your toes, and then lifting the hips up, dolphin plank. 4, 3, 2, squeezing the thighs together, and 1. Press into the elbows, look straight down beneath your nose, walk your feet in, and come into dolphin. Can you let the head lengthen without crashing down onto your face? Holding the hips up high and stretching into the legs. Melting down into the elbows. And then gently release the knees down. Sit onto your heels and take your arms back to hold the heels as you come into child's pose. And let yourself drift down to the bottom of the stream bed of your breath, where your body and your awareness feel like a rock caressed by the water of your breath. And in that heavy single point of awareness between your eyebrows, where this rock sinks into the stream, you can drain and release any tension right into the riverbed, right at your forehead. Release the clasp on your heels And as you exhale, pull your belly in, slowly rising up onto your knees. We'll take the hands back beneath the shoulders. Inhale, cow. Tuck knees under. Exhale, hover them. And rise into downward dog. Take some time to find your footing, feet hip width, wagging your hips, stretching out through your fingers and clawing into the mat. Begin to pull your elbows together and lower your ears in line with your arms. And then relax into the weight of your head and drop the back of your skull toward the floor. Let's take 5 breaths here. Keep stretching into your fingers, pushing the floor away. And then when you start to notice the arms and shoulders creeping toward your head, dip the elbows down and draw them toward each other. So it's going to be a constant little scanning action of re-strengthening your arms, but then releasing your shoulders. So press through the palms and then engage through the elbows, creating space around your neck and rocking your gaze left and right just to loosen there between your shoulders. Bend into your knees and begin to walk your hands in slowly toward your feet. You can move that bolster away and find the fronts of your shins, halfway lift to look out. Usually we notice the belly is kind of relaxed here, but can you pull it in, buttoning your belly up toward the sky, engaging your core, unlocking your knees, and relaxing your arms down like a rag doll, head heavy too. As you exhale into your feet, pulling your belly back and up, slowly rise to straighten into your spine. Unlock your knees again and reach all the way up to connect your palms and take a little side bend, left and right. As you exhale, bend into your knees, bring your hands down to your heart and forward fold. Shake your head, yes. And shake it, no. And then walk your hands slowly out to high board, walking all the way to the front of your mat and hovering here for 4. Strong legs like you're squeezing a block between your knees. 3. Softening your heart toward your thumbs. 2. And 1. Release your knees down. We're gonna come down onto your right elbow and bend the right leg behind you. Left leg is straight. So your left heel, right knee, right hip are all in line. Take your left hand on top of your left hip, squeeze your buttocks and reach that left arm up to the sky. As you exhale, you're going to lower your right hip down to touch the mat. Inhale, lift and squeeze. And let's just do that 5 more times. Touching the mat, lift and squeeze, ground through that right elbow. And 3, 2, and 1. Lower that left hand down. And just make your way to the other side. Left elbow, left heel back. A nice straight line from your hips to your knees and your feet. Right arm up in the sky. Squeeze the buttocks and lower. 1, lift and squeeze. 2. This is really good for your low back and your hips. 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Lower your right hand down, rolling onto your knees, toes up, and 3 little push-ups. Inhale to lift up. 2, bring the elbows to your rib cage. Try to super glue them in there. 3, And push back, child's pose. Turn your palms up. Try to stretch your thumbnail and your fingers down into the floor, opening your wrists for 2 more breaths. So the thumbs are rocking outward, pushing down to the back of the wrists. And grounding into your knees, lift your head, pull your belly in, rise up into your cat shape. Inhale, cow, tucking toes under and hovering your knees for 4, 3. Can you push your shoulders down without dropping the knees? 2 and 1. Let's lift the hips back up, downward dog, 5 breaths. Imagine I'm holding the front of your hips, drawing them back toward the wall behind you. Toes on the back of your heels, draw them toward the floor. Hands on top of your hands, press all the knuckles down. And then slowly traveling up the arms, winding the elbows toward each other, rolling the biceps outward, away from each other. Drop the back of the head. Looking toward your feet, extend your right leg straight out and just turn at that ankle, drawing a little circle with your toes. And then like a paintbrush, swing the right toe up toward the sky. Push the floor away, get a little bit longer. And as you exhale, flex into the right foot, draw that right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, reach it up like a paintbrush, right toe to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. One more time, reach it all the way up. And then tap the right elbow and draw it underneath you. Step that right foot down and separate the feet apart like railroad tracks. Draw the right knee forward, left heel back, and see if you can float your hands for a moment. Pull your belly in away from the right thigh, bringing your arms along your sides. Keep pulling your belly back as you draw your arms forward by your ears. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, belly back, arms by ears. Inhale and exhale. As you do it one more time, I just want you to notice how you're wagging your tail, reaching back, and then pulling forward. Find a focal point on the floor and slowly lift those arms overhead, introducing a bend into that back knee so that you're easy on your hips there. Beautiful. Arms are high. Can you slide the shoulder blades down the back as you find a focal point straight ahead of you? And then lower your eyes to a point about 4 feet in front of you on the floor. Bring your hands together with your eyes on that focal point and push yourself onto your front foot, drawing your back leg up. And then exhale it slowly down, coming back into your crescent lunge and finding that high focal point. We'll just try that a few more times. From a high focal point to a low focal point, lifting that back leg up. And very slowly down and lifting your arms up. And we're going to start another flow here. So as we come into that low focal point, we're just going to begin to scoop the left knee into your chest and stand tall, flexing into that left foot. Let's try to go out the way we came in. Back to the low focal point, stretch the left leg back, lower your toes, and reach up. As we do this again, we're going to try to go from hands at heart to hands overhead. So here we go into warrior 3. Scoop that back knee in. From hands at heart, take hands overhead. Just balancing there. Can you flex your foot, lifting up and pull your belly back, using your core there. Excellent. One more time, going out the way you came in, reaching back, high lunge. This last time as we come up, you take any variation that you like toward tree or warrior three for a balance of your choice. So find your low focal point, hands at the heart. Draw that knee in, lifting your gaze to a high focal point, arms overhead. And then just any balance that feels good. Maybe you reach for your left knee, taking your arms wide. Or you find your tree variation. Just give yourself 3 more breaths to play around with balancing on that right leg, whatever feels good today. It's not a performance, just any little variation. We'll step back, crescent lunge. In yogi's choice, vinyasa, lowering your hands, step your feet together. You can take knees to the floor for cobra or four-limb stick pose for up dog. And we'll take 5 breaths in downward dog. Shaking out the head, wagging out your tail, clawing into your fingers, lengthening your arms, and drawing your elbows together, dropping the back of the head. Looking straight down with your inhalation, lift the left leg, turn at the ankle. Point that left toe, paintbrush up to the sky. As you exhale, flex the left foot, draw left knee to left elbow. Slowly inhale, stretching up, flexing into the left foot, draw the knee to the elbow. One more time, reaching up, knee to elbow, and reach under. Step your left foot toward your left hand. Draw that left knee forward, right heel back, articulating your lunge, and then begin to float your hands. Pull your belly in as you reach your arms along your sides. You find a low focal point ahead of your toe. And then as you inhale, pull your belly in, unlock your right knee, find a high focal point. Exhale, reaching back, low focal point. Inhale, belly back, high focal point. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Take your hands to your heart, low focal point. Bend into that left knee, right leg raise. Step back slowly, focusing on those focal points. Reaching up. Exhale to the heart, lifting that right leg up. Inhale. Just really slowing it down, savoring the muscular energy, the stability, the concentration, and the balance. Hands at the heart, right leg back. Slowly bring that knee into your chest and just find your high focal point. We'll come back down, reaching up, and practice adding the arms for 2 more rounds. Knee to chest, reaching up. And stepping back, crescent lunge. So this last round, just ending victoriously with your choice of a balance pose. Just taking a few breaths. and exploring any variation. And taking your time to step back and contemplate your vinyasa. High board, knees to the floor for cobra or four-limbed stick pose to upward dog. Down dog. Stretch your lengthen your arms, lower your head down, shake it out. Draw the elbows together, sink into the heels. Gently release the knees down, taking the feet forward and the legs wide. Let's use that bolster under your seat. A folded mat will do. Just going to pull your buttocks flush back so there's a little bit of padding there, and the legs are just a little wider than the mat for Pilates saw. So sitting really tall, let's open the arms. And as you exhale, the right hand comes down, just saws off that left pinky toe. Left hand goes down, right arm up by your ears. Draw your feet into just bent knees, pointing to sky. Push up, lift your seat, and take your right arm along your neck. So you're just lengthening it, coming up to flip your dog. Exhale down, arms wide, inhale. Exhale to the left, right hand is down. Inhale, lift the knees, lift the hips, left arm by your ear. Lower your seat down, arms wide, sawing to the left. Left arm stays down, knees in, lift the hips. Maybe this time you can look up straight to the ceiling or toward the wall behind you, and then take the hips down, arms wide. That's a nice variation, Hannah. And then cut down to the left. Right arm is low, knees up, and lift. We'll do each side just one more time. Sawing down to the left. Finding that nice, open, tall spine for the last time, sawing down to the right. And releasing the hips down, legs open. Let's take a block or two under each knee, or you could use anything to elevate your knees. If you don't have something, just lift your knees up, take your block and place it between. We're going to fold forward and use your block at whatever height you fold to just rest onto your forehead. So the whole idea is to be able to release the head and neck, the spine. I've got a couple extra blocks here for anybody who might like them under their knees. Try that under your knees. Yeah. Just 5 breaths. I'm gonna try this right there. See if that would help a little bit. Trying to melt the spine as you take a few more breaths. Feel the skin of your back unzipping and melting, and the weight of your heels grounding into the floor. And pushing gently there, draw the belly in and begin to roll yourself all the way up. You're going to take your hands to the floor, fingers to the side, and bring the feet a little bit closer together so that you can lift up onto your heels, push through your arms, and just flip your board, squeezing your buttocks together. And then lowering your seat down. We'll take the 2 blocks or a rolled blanket or bolster under the knees so that they're supported in a butterfly position, reaching for your ankles. So if you can support the outer knees. Does anybody need some blocks? You feel all right? You want to toss one of your gray blocks to Hannah? Or any? How about one to that other direction? There we go. Great. So knees are wide. It's nice to have them supported. We're going to reach for the outside of the toes and just forward fold, relaxing there, lengthening the back of the neck. The soles of the feet don't even have to touch. It's all about what's happening in your hips. Because as you look at your feet for a moment and reach for with your thumbs on the inside to roll the soles of your feet open, your feet are almost a mirror image of what's happening in your pelvis to open. Not in this moment, but it radiates up through your legs. So that as you slowly come up and take your hands out to your sides, and we're going to push into the outside edge of the feet and lift the hips up, that action in your feet is mirrored in your pelvis. You just lift the hips up, lower the knees out to the side, press into the outer edges of the feet for one more beat, and then lower your hips down and fold forward into butterfly one more time, relaxing the back of your head. The butterfly's loping flight carries it through the country of the leaves delicately and well enough to get it where it wants to go, wherever that is, stopping here and there to fuzzle the damp throats of flowers and the black mud. Up and down it swings, frenzied and aimless. For long, delicious moments, it is perfectly lazy, motionless in the breeze, on the soft stalk of some ordinary flower. Reaching through the back of your heart and slowly rising up. Extend the legs forward with just a slight lift under the knees. Once more, we're going to reach forward on the outside of the legs and fold the head down using a block or any support under your forehead so that you can take a fetal fold with some support for the head. Allow yourself to sink into this fold, lengthening the back of the head down, stretching your skin for 2 more breaths. Feeling the pressure of your heels into the mat, pull the belly in and slowly rise up. We're going to use that brown bolster under the spine and either 2 blocks or rolled mat or blanket under the knees as we come back into a reclined goddess pose. So arms are wide and knees are elevated slightly with blocks underneath them. Palms open to the sky. And place your right hand on your belly, your left fingertips at your throat. Observe the journey of your breath under your fingertips. As the body surrenders to gravity, to its weight, its beautiful weight, observe the beauty in the sensation of your breath. A long, delicious moment of riding motionless on the soft stalk of some ordinary flower. We build the body to strengthen the spirit. The god of dirt, so wise and delectable, rises in his dog voice, his crow voice, and says now. And he says now again, and never once mentions forever. The butterfly rises weightless in the wind. Don't love anything too much, it says, and vanishes into the world. Allow yourself to make any modifications, just stretching out the legs completely. Your hips start to hurt. Yeah, my lower back. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. As you rest into the earth, visualize the bright elixirs of berries, the garden fruits and flowers settling back down into the earth, making a strong soil. A rich, dark soil of sensations. And let that be love. Let that be beauty. And slowly observing the quality of each element and mineral, and the way it occupies the body as a texture, a temperature, a color. Allowing the mind to drift up like a parachute or a cloud, to look lovingly at this landscape, at this garden, at this soil. And gently twinkling the fingers and the toes. To breathe a breath of pure observation without changing anything. And once more, holding that breath, feeling it at the surface of your skin, stretching it and letting it go. And inhaling to fill, extend the arms, drawing the palms together, becoming longer, lengthening into your skin. And letting it go. And gently lifting the knees. And slowly unfurling the spine upward, rising to a comfortable seat. Feeling the broad, stable base of roots, knees, hips, the bones of the legs. And the stem of your spine rising upward, your head resting like a butterfly there. And bringing your hands together, holding the sun between your palms. And drawing them to your heart. And sealing your practice with the sweet nectar of awareness, the strength of subtle awareness. Namaste. Well, have a wonderful day.